Rory and Mal are no longer a healthy couple.
Like, I'm sure Not Like Us, because of this announcement, may chart this week. Just because of the announcement. Like, you're adding more allure to what this battle was with these moves. And the appeal is just going to continue that. But I also know that Drake doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
so I see both sides.
Yeah, but that's the side that people see what you just said. A lot of people don't think or speak to that.
I know he doesn't care.
When you don't care. Two, when you know what you know and you know what's going on, because none of us knows Drake's business with his label. We don't know his negotiation, what he was going through with the label at the time. None of us know the specifics of that. But when you know and your lawyers know exactly what happened and what went on, when you say just let it go, no, somebody of his caliber and his level is not going to just let that go, because they know what we all do not know. They have information that none of us have.
Okay, but then I guess I would ask, if you're Drake, are you looking at good lawyers lose cases? I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But if you have all this stuff that we don't know, why did you go with that approach of the defamation lane? And the judge was clearly like, nah, this is a rap battle. No one actually believed this. You also said in one of the songs to call you a pedophile. Like, is this Drake's lawyers making a grave mistake in this entire thing? Like, even going in that approach of going the defamation route, because clearly the judge was like, this is a rap battle. This is not a negotiation for your deal with Universal.
I think that
they should have revealed the stuff that we don't know.
Yeah, the information that, like, people keep saying, there's information that the general public doesn't know. Well, I would assume that if there's information that's pertinent to this ruling or the lawsuit, it should be in the paperwork, and we all have the paperwork. So that's why it's like, what is this magic 8-ball information?
What up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again, talking facts. Hit that like button, hit a subscribe, hit notification bell. Keep sending those Cashapp to CLBMG. Join the membership gang. Listen, so I don't know if you've heard of the term conscious uncoupling, which is when a couple breaks up and they're still on good terms. Like, it was invented by, I believe, Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin when they were going through a separation of sorts, and they decided to consciously uncouple for whatever reason, this, that, and the third. But Rory and Mal have hit a wall. They have hit a point where they need to consciously uncouple, where that means that the relationship just isn't quite working out. It ain't bad, but it ain't good. And what I'm looking at when I watch these guys, we only go and watch the show when it's about Drake, right? Let's just be honest. So what I went and did is, as all of us did, we went and watched it's a 9-minute clip out there, but I did one better. I went to their podcast and I watched the entire segment about the lawsuit, which we knew would be a doozy. Mal wouldn't budge a bit. He wouldn't put 1 ounce of thought into what was happening, what the judge actually said and didn't say. Mal has done what he always does, find a way to cope and just assume that Drake has more up his sleeve. Drake knows better than you and me. Drake knows more than all of us. Somehow Mal has once again decided that there is some unseen force that Drake holds, some red button that only Drake can possibly understand. So he has given himself over to Drake and let Drake take the wheel, and he will not admit that this case was a failure and a flop. But what's even more interesting than that is how Rory has acknowledged it. Rory has decided that this case is above his pay grade. He can't figure it out because at this point it's making no sense. But as true, I'm not going to say battered wife, but Rory is somewhere in between battered wife and wife who doesn't want to cause problems, right? So right now we're looking at Rory completely get it, but in front of Mal, he has to act like he doesn't get it. He has to act like he doesn't know what the case is about anymore because he doesn't want to offend Mal. Rory is walking around on eggshells so pathetically. He's so afraid of riling Mal up, and Demaris, she doesn't care, but she's like, she can't get through to this guy because she as well is trying to not work him up. But in all actuality, he needs to get worked up because the pod is suffering, gang. I'm just going to be honest. Their numbers are very pedestrian for a channel that has 303,000 subscribers. They're doing the numbers of a guy. I'm going to just say it, like a 30,000 subscriber guy. Let's just be honest. So the channel is struggling, and we all know why, because we only go there for certain shows and certain episodes. I already unsubscribed, but we only go there for topics such as this, the Drake topics, when we want to see Maul squirm and wiggle his way out of this, that, and the third. Now, Rory is so afraid. I'm just going to use the word afraid. He is wiggling and worming and squirming, and he's saying his little things, and he has this little nervous laugh because he doesn't know what's going to trigger Maul. Maul is like a big-ass, old-ass Fred Flintstone that you don't want to get him to start yelling, right? They're scared of this guy yelling. I don't know why. But if you were any kind of friend, that's why I say they need to consciously uncouple, because it's almost unwatchable. This guy, Rory, clearly is too smart to act this dumb. Right? So he's going to act dumb and going to act like he doesn't know this. He does. The lawsuit has changed, gang. He's saying stuff that he knew has changed months ago. He knows that there's no conversation about bots. He knows that. But he's going to pretend that there is. He's going to pretend that he doesn't know that the bot narrative, that Drake already took the bots out of the lawsuit. He knows that. But he's going to pretend that he doesn't, because he doesn't want to work this guy up. This is like a relationship where one of them is a little, they know the triggers of the other person, so they don't want to push the buttons, right? They know that Maul knows this stuff, but Maul wants to pretend that there's some great force in play that's going to swoop in an appeal, right? He still thinks that this case has legs. So in some kind of appeal, Drake is going to pull out this magic pen and come out and write something magical, and all of a sudden the judge is going to be like, you know what? You didn't present this before, but now I'm going to accept it, and now you're going to win, and UMG is liable. It's silly. The judge said it's non-actionable. Maul even said that I'm going to save you guys time of going over there and watch it, but go watch it anyway. If you want to watch it and waste, I don't know, 15 minutes of your life going to skipping ahead to watch what's going on, go for it. Knock yourself out. I did it, so you don't have to. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you what they said. Maul is over there saying that he got some kind of pinky promise from Drake that he's going to somehow present something that he didn't present before. Gang, you got to remember, this thing was a petition since last year, turned into a lawsuit in January of 2025. It is now October. They had 9 months to present all this information. We only got requests for freaking what were we looking for? Requests for information and things of that nature, right? Maul thinks that there is more to be said. Maul thinks that Drake knows more than we do, and Drake has more insider information that's going to make these requests, right, somehow magically pan out to where he's going to reveal some stuff in appeal, and no less. Now, he didn't present it. He didn't present it during the time that he was supposed to, right? Look, when they were looking for discovery, all of these things they wanted to find. No, Drake didn't present it then. Drake is going to present it now in appeal. So Maul is refusing to let go. Now, Demaris and Rory have already given up. They're both trying to introduce softly, right? Softly and calmly. Why doesn't he just give it up? It's like they're waiting for the smack, right? Rory is like, why don't we want to just end this? He's asking shit in question form, right? Now, if he was any kind of real friend, right, or any kind of, we were in some kind of relationship or whatever, not saying like that, but what I'm saying is we're supposed to be boys. We're in a mutual relationship to do this podcast and get it done right, right? Why are you tiptoeing around the obvious? Why doesn't Drake let this thing go? They can't even have the real conversation because Rory can't say it's over, right? He can't be a real G to this guy and say, gang, the shit's over, the lawsuit cooked. Stop talking about this nigga like he got something coming up. If me and you cool, we've been cool for 5-6 years or more, we should be able to say, nigga, it's over. This nigga lost bad 2 times. It's over. Ain't no round 3. Nothing's working. He won't say none of this because he's scared of this guy. It's just a fucking fact. Put the cards on everything on the table. We're done playing games. This guy's scared of this dude. Just simple bottom. It's the bottom. Demaris don't care one way or another. She getting paid regardless. So she says her little stuff, the logical one in the room, right? But she don't trigger Maul no more. Maul already knows I'm not gonna let this girl trigger me. I'm gonna let her, because it's gonna be worse when I go off on this black woman. You know what I'm saying? So you don't let her trigger him no more. So she says her little stuff, but she says it in a way that is palatable, right? It's supposed to be Rory at this point. You clearly know that Rory understands everything that just happened, but he won't say it directly to this guy because he's scared to say it. I'm just going to be honest. He don't want this guy bugging out. Well, you actually low-key need him. The numbers are down. You should let this motherfucker trigger this nigga, let him go off. Wind him up. But he knows the backlash from that. Let's just be honest, it puts Maul in the dark. Maul acts like he's impervious to this shit. That stuff puts Maul in a dark place he's been trying for a while. Them last couple, you have not seen Maul go off since them last couple of outbursts last year when he was going crazy for Drake. And he started screaming and yelling. Those things went super viral. Maul doesn't want that no more, right? Maul doesn't want that no more. He doesn't want to go super viral for screaming and acting crazy about Drake. It doesn't pan out well because whatever he's usually screaming and crying about, it usually looks bad in the end because it turns out to be that he was wrong, right? So Rory, believing that he's a good friend, is going to try to not trigger him and keep him out of them situations because he can't control himself. Once you get, he's so wound up and so tense, right, about this Drake stuff that it's been like this for months. You gotta walk on eggshells. You gotta be mad like, yo, let's not say too much to trigger this nigga. What y'all on this podcast for, gang? Start asking yourself what we here for. The numbers are going down. People aren't tapping in. They're not even hyping these videos, gang. I'm just gonna be honest. We're gonna have a real conversation. They're not even hyping you guys' video. Okay? This is the big reveal where y'all talking about Drake, and I'm just gonna have an honest conversation because this is YouTuber talk right now, right? The most basic of video gets hyped. Y'all had this video out a day or two. This thing got 1,500 hype, gang. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Y'all not doing something right, right? The average YouTuber with an average following, soon as they put that video up, the shit gonna do at least 1,500 hype in fucking 20 minutes. That's the average YouTuber. You guys got 1,500 hype on your biggest video. People are not jacking with you guys right now. I'm just being honest with you, right? So at the end of the day, what we need to start to understand is they're not jacking with you because you're not keeping it real. You're placating this guy. You're trying to keep him off of what's they call it, the beige rage. He ain't even beige, but you know how they do when you watch the Breakfast Club and you watch when they put those beige rage meters on Envy when he's getting really mad, how mad he gets, this, that, and the third. And they start to clown the person and they start to make fun of how mad they got. So you're trying to keep Maul out of that zeitgeist of once again looking like a fool for Drake. Well, he already looks like a fool. He can say the most benign thing, like the lawsuit ain't over. At that point, he's already going mean, right? But Rory thinking that he's being a good friend, so he's eggshelling, tiptoeing, acting dumb. He's dumbing himself down. Rory, you're way smarter than you're acting right now. Let's just be honest. You do too much chuckling and laughing. You know what's going on, Rory, but you're trying to play like you don't so this guy won't get mad. But if you were really any kind of friend and you really wanted this podcast to work, you would be like, nigga, right? And I know Rory can't say that word, but you would be like, friend, okay? You would be like, friend, first of all, stop asking them questions. You're asking them questions you know the answer to, right? You're talking in questions, which means you're coming with kindness and love. No, that shit's over. This guy is absolutely cooked. So what you need to be like, okay, gang, the lawsuit failed badly. He lost badly in the court of law. It's not coming back. He don't have no red button. That's over. So you keep sitting here talking like he do sound crazy. Okay? Maul is beyond delusional right now. This guy can't even, I think he asked Drake what to say before he comes on. It's just, at this point, it's ridiculous. But Rory, so scary, right? The relationship, like I said, they need a conscious uncoupling or something because he's so scared to keep it a buck with this guy. If I keep talking to you in questions and I'm trying to get you to get where I am. So Rory's trying to get him to get where he is, but he won't say where he is. Or he'll throw it out there and do a chuckle and just be silent and wait for this guy to see if he gets anywhere closer to it. Maul ain't budging, gang. I need you to understand, Rory. Maul ain't budging a smidge. This guy can take L after L after L. He ain't gonna budge an inch. He believes in this guy like Jesus. Okay? When he sees Drake, he sees the whole robe, the sandals, he sees the bloody palms. This guy, Drake, is Jesus right now. So he believes in him 100%. So you're not going to nudge and be like, buddy, it's time to kind of give up on the lawsuit, because he's never going to give up. So at this point, Rory, the ball's in your court. Either you're going to consciously uncouple, because the show's awful. Let's just be honest. You're tiptoeing around a guy who shouldn't be podcasting. He has no, like, he won't change his opinion. He won't be real on the show because the opinion is not real. You can't be an intelligent man and still take these takes on Drake. You can't be. At some point, you're a stan that worships a man, so you won't keep it a buck. This guy isn't saying anything real about Drake. Everything is fantasy. Well, I don't know what he knows. None of us know. It's just, we're going to let him decide. So you're going to just follow the lead. Then you're not a real podcaster. You have no opinion. You really don't. Your whole opinion is Drake knows better. That is an idiotic opinion. I'm just going to be honest. And Rory has to sit there and accept that as an opinion. You're trying to run a podcast that actually is supposed to be objective in some kind of way. This motherfucker's a brick. He's a fucking rock. Stone face, doesn't bend, doesn't change his opinion. Nothing. Has never ever. It's like sitting there talking to a freaking brick wall. And this is what Rory has chosen for his career. Rory sit there, he gotta chuckle, gotta laugh, gotta try to keep this friendly with a guy who ain't chuckling, he ain't laughing, he ain't friendly. When it comes to this Drake shit, this guy gets tense, he gets angry, gets irritable. He's not fun to watch. I'm just being honest. That thing is awful when he gets on this Drake stuff. Now, I don't know about the other stuff because I don't watch the other stuff. The thing's unwatchable. When I try to watch it, this guy's so you're so turned off by his demeanor. You're so turned off that it's not watchable. I'm just going to be honest. Demaris is tense. Everything is tense. So you think that a guy this locked off and closed off, how can he have conversations about other real things in the world? So his opinion almost seems manufactured. You're like, I don't believe this. I don't believe that he goes out and actually has fun. I really don't. He seems to worship this guy so much that that's all he thinks about, in my opinion. Now, he can have all kind of fun, this, that, and the third. But a guy that's delusional, just wrapped up in another human being, I don't know how much shit you could really be doing. That's fun outside. Because every time this name comes up, it seems like that's more important than his own life. I'm just going to be honest. He's so tense and so offended, easily offended about anything about this guy. It seems like, bro, are you dead ass right now? So what else are you like this about? You got to be like this about a lot of other shit. I'm just going to be honest. So it's like, I don't know, as a team, as a show, right? You fired Julian, this, that, and the third, which he was a voice of reason from the back. But I get it, money's getting tight as whatever. But at the end of the day, I feel like your show is suffering because of this. I don't know. Let's just be honest. No one tunes in to hear this pro Drake shit, except for psychos. The ones in the Twitter spaces arguing with each other, calling themselves owls. You can't base, it's already been proven, you can't base your podcast around owls. They don't support nothing. They didn't support Joey Badass. They barely supporting Drake shit. Let's just be honest. Right? They had to put everything they had to get No Kid to number 2. So the owls only going to be they only be worth so much. They only come around when you're talking about Drake, and y'all don't talk about Drake every day. So your stances on Drake and being so stubborn and you won't bend and won't, that's not going to be good, conducive for the show. The show is dying, gang. The show is dying. So at some point, he's going to have to be able to be approached about real conversations. Right? The reason the show is awful is because he won't bend and Rory won't try to get nothing out of him. Rory sits there, placates and chuckles and this, that, and the third. You go all the way into damn near the end of the show to talk about the one topic that we're here for. Right? You're like, we're gonna talk about it after the commercial break, this, that, and the third. You go an hour and then I don't know how long, but it was a long time before y'all started talking about it. I had to skip to that shit, right? Which is whatever. Thank God you guys did the timestamps, but at the end of the day, you don't want people only coming around for a Drake conversation and then he has nothing really to add to the conversation. He doesn't add anything. His whole answer with this whole video was, I don't know. The lawsuit's never going to end because Drake won't end it. He knows more than we do. He didn't add anything to it. He was asking questions like he don't know what happened. He's dialed out. As soon as he heard that the lawsuit got dismissed, he dialed out. He didn't look into it further. He didn't get anything from it. He didn't add nothing to the conversation. So we're at a point where your show's unwatchable because he's not even trying to explain what happened. He's just like, man, listen, Drake knows more than we do. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna trust Drake. That's your official answer. You're supposed to be able to dissect this stuff and go into the podcast and into the paperwork and figure out, okay, the judge was wrong about this, the judge was wrong about that. All of his shit is hyperbolic bullshit. Like he's making up shit that he's heard from motherfuckers on Twitter and shit. He didn't get no real information to share. Y'all didn't really do no real research, right? All I'm hearing from Rory is he's throwing out stuff out there that Maul is quickly like either won't answer or shooting down. He has no input. Demaris is trying to find out shit. They saying dates and times wrong. Well, when was Discovery? October 9th. What the fuck you talking about? No, it wasn't October 9th. Shit back in June sometime. So it's like, gang, the simple fact of the matter is y'all going to have to decide, are we going to sit here and tiptoe around Maul every time we talk about things? Or are we going to let Maul just fucking bug out? If you can't sit in that chair and articulate yourself, maybe podcasting ain't for you. If you can't sit in that chair without screaming and yelling and going crazy, maybe podcasting ain't for you. And maybe your show needs a little of that Joe Budden negativity, goofy shit that he got going on. Joe Budden is doing a whole lot more going on over there at the Joe Budden podcast, believe it or not. Right? I just did a video on how toxic that shit is, but Joe Budden lives in that toxic. It's like a pig and shit. He loves it. So he makes it toxic so the whole place will be toxic. Right? Not saying it's good, bad, or different. I'm just telling you, your show is a little dry. Your show is very dry at this point. And if you're going to go into a show that's supposed to be entertaining and tiptoe around, right, and act like you don't want to make the host mad, I don't know how much more y'all got going on over there that's going to offer the people. I go in the comments, gang. When I go in the comments, there's almost little to no support of the show. The people that come to the comments are people who want to criticize and demean your podcast. I don't see a bunch of loyal fans in your comments. So that means you're getting people who are only coming in for whatever certain topics here and certain topics there. You don't have loyal listeners that are coming in there riding for you no matter what the topic is. You don't got that. It's becoming apparent that people aren't riding with you till the wheels fall off. Okay? The numbers don't lie. So what we're saying is, the simple fact of the matter is, unless Maul is able to go in, adjust his attitude, y'all ain't working as a couple. You're laughing half the time. He's not. He seems mad, annoyed that he even got to be there talking. And then most of his takes, even outside of the Drake takes, his takes be mad like, are you 69? Like, what era are you from? Sound like an old ass angry black man. So it's like, gang, it's not funny, it's not entertaining, and people are leaving in droves. They're not watching this stuff. They come back to see him make an ass of himself, and he's going out of his way to not make an ass of himself, and that's making it even worse. So I'm gonna leave it at this, man. Listen, the lawsuit was a dud. I've been saying for months that shit would get thrown out. I literally said it at least 40 times. He has no comprehension to just acknowledge why it was thrown out. He can't even fathom it. He can't even fathom why. He's thinking that the judge made a mistake and Drake is going to come back and win. He can't even acknowledge what the judge even said. That's bad podcasting. It's bad podcasting. He doesn't agree with the judge. He thinks that the judge made a mistake. Why don't you look into what the judge actually said and understand why Drake lost? He won't do that, which makes the show awful to watch. And then Rory there playing dumb like he doesn't understand it. He knows full well what's going on. He probably knows the shit better than me. He made that whole video, the diatribe. Then he tried to blame people for bringing up the video he brought up. He made a whole video. Remember that video about the botting and the industry, how this was bigger than Drake and this, that, and the third. And fucking 2 days later, Drake dropped all that shit out. Right? It wasn't 2 days later, but a few days later, Drake dropped all the botting shit that Rory stood up on a soapbox and took all these arrows and bullets for that Drake didn't even, Drake, it was all a fishing expedition. But Rory didn't want to believe that. So he wanted to make it like, well, I mean, if you really understand the music. But he had a whole video. Now he's laughing and trying to make people look dumb for bringing that shit up. Well, I didn't know anything. Why did you fucking make a video then? His whole official response was, well, I didn't know anything at the time. You made a whole video and put your whole career online. And yes, we tore your ass up for that video. But now your official answer is, after the lawsuits dropped, well, I didn't know anything at the time. Well, you shouldn't have made a video, gang. Just being honest. So y'all looking real crazy out here. Both of y'all. All right? I'm going to leave it at that, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. I probably missed some stuff that they talked about, but it is what it is. Go watch it. See if I missed anything. It is what it is, man. I'm out here, man. Y'all dudes, the odd couple, man. Just whatever, man. It don't matter what I think. It matter what you think. Do your thing. Let me know in the comments. CLBMG. Head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know what you think about the situation. Let them know who sent you. All right? And also, every Wednesday night, we go live, me, TJ, and Fliz on the What Show. Tap in, gang. I'm going to let y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone and the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took a block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, we ain't the cheese, we the trap.